The Axolotl versus the Guardian is one of those hypothetical fictional battles that fans love to debate because they're both the supreme entities in two sister shows, Amphibia and The Owl House.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
Each is allegedly the most powerful being in their respective universe. Perhaps even more powerful than somebody like Bill Cipher. They exist beyond space and time, transcending the limitations of our reality. But I think the real question isn't whether they're similar, it's whenever they're essentially the same character. A lot of people out there believe the Axolotl and Guardian are different portrayals of the same being, depending on who's perceiving them and who are they interacting with. At the end of the day, Gravity Falls, Amphibia, and the Owl House are all part of the same shared multiverse, or even universe actually. Although, for this video, I won't assume they're both the same character. That would make the whole debate redundant, and frankly, there'd be no point in discussing who would win in the scenario if they're both the same entity. First, let's talk about the Guardian from Amphibia. We don't know a lot about this character, but what we do know is kind of interesting. The Guardian manages the afterlife and exists beyond space and time. The reason we know that is because in one episode, Anne jokes about her cat being a creature from beyond space and time.
Omega, an interdimensional being beyond all time and space.
Whoa.
Later, she meets the Guardian, who looks exactly like her cat. This is clearly just narrative foreshadowing, suggesting that the Guardian's existence transcends space, time, and existence, I guess. And that's actually more impressive than you think, which I'm gonna get into a little bit later. On the other side, there is the Axolotl from Gravity Falls, which appears more and is way more intertwined with the lore and the story of the series, and especially to Bill Cipher's character. Much like the Guardian, the Axolotl exists beyond space, time, or more specifically, in between space and time, depending on which source you follow. Some fans consider the Choose Your Own Adventure book to be canon, some don't. But I personally accept it as part of the lore because that's where the most interesting part of the character comes from and where he debuted as a character. And even the creator Alex Hirsch said that there's one specific part about the book that is absolutely canon, and that would probably be the part with the Axolotl showing up. What's crucial here is that the Axolotl is powerful enough to be stronger than Bill Cipher, and that's no small feat. Bill Cipher, as I've already discussed in previous videos, is somewhere between 5th, 7th, or even 11th dimensional, depending on interpretation. If Axolotl is stronger than Bill, which seems to be the case in every appearance we've seen so far, it would place him on a similar or higher level in terms of, dimensionality and power. Possibly 7th dimensional, if not higher. Now, if we assume these characters all share the same multiverse or cosmology, which is not that big of an assumption, as there are connections between these shows and even canon confirmation about some of those characters sharing not the same multiverse but the same universe. What I'm getting at is that at the end of the day, it doesn't matter if you think they're 5-dimensional, 7-dimensional, or 11-dimensional. What matters is that they're both transcendent of space and time. And if you assume they're in the same universe or multiverse, in a way, they're operating on the same level, though they're still up for debate on how one interprets the different universes. It's possible to say that the Guardian only transcends the specific universe where Amphibia takes place, as in the continent and the planet and the realm of Amphibia, and doesn't necessarily have dominion over the whole multiverse, like the Axolotl. Both Axolotl and Guardian play similar roles in their respective worlds, which gives us a clue into their true power. When Bill died, he invoked the Axolotl's name to reincarnate. In return, the Axolotl placed Bill in an extra-dimensional rehabilitation facility where he would atone for his past actions and for his sins until he's finally worthy of becoming a butterfly or whatever the Axolotl wants to reincarnate him as. This kind of implies that Axolotl holds dominion over life, death, the afterlife, and similarly, the Guardian from Amphibia has a similar function. After Anne dies, the Guardian essentially offers her his role as keeper of the afterlife or multiverse or whatever his job is. He tells Anne that after her natural lifespan ends, she will return and take over his duties. This in a way kind of mirrors the Axolotl's actions in some ways, leading some people, like I said, to speculate and to think that they might be the same entity. However, the way they speak and act is slightly different, and they have different enough lore that I'm confident to say they're probably not the same characters. Outside of the fact that also they're from two different shows. So who'd win a fight between the two? The key here is in their feats and roles they occupy within the respective cosmology. The Axolotl has been shown to be stronger than Bill Cipher or his henchmaniacs, who are universal to possibly multiversal threats. Bill's power extends across multiple timelines and universes, and the Axolotl is considered his opposite, holding dominion over forces that are even beyond Bill's scope. The Axolotl also outclasses the other powerful being within Gravity Falls that we have seen in the show, Time Baby, who governs over the infinite timelines and time itself. This places the Axolotl in a higher tier of power, one beyond even the highest dimensional threats we've seen in the Gravity Falls cosmology. On the other hand, while the Guardian is undoubtedly powerful and exists beyond space and time, he doesn't necessarily have any confirmed feat or statement to suggest that his power rivals the Axolotl. Yes, the Calamity Box in Amphibia is strong and capable of being used to conquer other universes or realms and destroy moons or planets, but compared to what we've seen from the Axolotl, it doesn't really measure up. The Axolotl has demonstrated control over much grander forces, including the ability to deal with beings like Bill on a cosmic scale. So while both characters are definitely powerful, the Axolotl has shown more impressive feats or statements or implication over the whole multiverse. His strength, as I said multiple times already in this video, is getting old, surpasses Bill, and the ability to manipulate and transcend dimensions places him on a level above the Guardian, at least based on what we've seen so far. Until we get more information about the Guardian's true capabilities, if ever we will, and his role within the multiverse, I'd say Axolotl takes it so far. And just as a bonus, I guess because this character does not really measure up, I want to mention the Titan, or the Titans as a species from the Owl House. Because all of these shows are sister shows, and the Titans are kind of the strongest from the Owl House. They might have some similarities, like the fact that Titan's blood is used to create portals between realms, and that they're obviously gods that basically magic comes from, but at the end of the day, they're nowhere near the Guardian or the Axolotl. If you want to argue that it's possible that the blood from the Titan or the heart from the Titan or something like that can merge two universes together like Belos said it would, which I don't think at this point it was even true. But even if we assume that a Titan can merge two universes together, that's still not as impressive as someone like the Axolotl or someone like the Guardian who exist beyond space and time themselves. And even that's with giving the benefit of the doubt to the Titans, who are more consistently depicted fighting collectors or archivists or whatever you want to call them, who themselves are able to move constellations, which is impressive, don't get me wrong. Moving stars and constellations is not an easy or small feat, but comparatively to multiversal beyond space and time beings like Guardian and Axolotl or Bill Cipher, it's not comparable.